Okay, so Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just released, and they were supposed to be a huge leap forward for the Pokemon series, but instead they're a disappointing mess. Now, there are lots of reasons why Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are awful, so in this video I will be going over the 10 worst things about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there are 107 brand new Pokemon, and the designs of 90% of these new Pokemon are so uninspired and lazy, and not many people are talking about these pathetic designs. Goldengo looks plain weird, Flamigo and Finizen shouldn't even count as Pokemon as they are just animals, there are 3 uninspired dog Pokemon, and the final evolutions of Quaxly and Sprigatito look like humans. It's clear as day that Game Freak chose quantity over quality, and it's a real shame. Voice acting is something that fans realized we needed when Sword and Shield came out, and in Scarlet and Violet, there is no voice acting at all. Just look at how much better the cutscenes would be with some voice acting.
Are you ready for a battle between champions?
Not quite.
Huh?
They have yet to make their choice, you see.
Please, Game Freak, you can afford to hire some voice actors. We are so sick of text boxes. Next up is the glitches. As funny as they are, they shouldn't exist. We should be able to play a game under a franchise worth $92 billion that doesn't have glitches littered all the way through the game. I'm not going to spend too long talking about the glitches. I know you've already seen the glitch compilations on YouTube. I'm not going to waste your time. These games take forever to start and the tutorial is way too long. It takes 45 minutes to get through the tutorial, and there are no options for players who know how to catch and battle Pokemon to skip the tutorial. What game doesn't let you skip a tutorial? And I haven't even mentioned how much useless text there is in the opening 30 minutes of the game. Mr. Clavel, Nimona, and your mum literally do not stop talking. Now, the main reason why people love open world games is because they love exploring and discovering new locations in the open world. In Breath of the Wild and Red Dead Redemption 2, the open world is full of cool locations and collectibles. Whereas in Scarlet and Violet, the open world sucks. There are no cool locations, there is nothing to collect. All there is to do is catch and battle wild Pokemon. And you could do those two things in previous Pokemon games that were not open world. Game Freak had no reason to make Scarlet and Violet open world games. These are just open world games so that they could market them as open world games, as open world games have gotten more popular. Now, to fix all the performance issues in the game, Game Freak released a 1.1.0 update that was supposed to fix all the performance issues, like the awful frame rates and the hilarious glitches. And guess what? The update didn't fix either of those things. Great job, Game Freak. There is no level of scaling at all in Scarlet and Violet, and it ruins any sense of freedom to battle any gym you want in any order. When you're starting out the game, let's say you want to have a try at the Ice-type gym first, which is one of the hardest gyms in the game. The levels of the Pokemon will all be extremely high, like 20 or so levels higher than yours, so you don't really have the freedom to battle any gym in any order you want, but the game makes it out like you can. The levels of the Pokemon you fight in gyms should be raised or lowered depending on where you're at in the game. The graphics are bad. It's honestly impressive how disgusting Scarlet and Violet look when compared to other Switch games like Astral Chain and Breath of the Wild. Now, the bad guys or opposing gang or whatever I'm supposed to call them are never incredibly intimidating in Pokemon games. Team Yell in Sword and Shield were laughable, and Team Skull in Sun and Moon were just hilarious. But in Scarlet and Violet, the bad guys are school bullies. That is just pathetic and pretty boring. The final thing about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that absolutely sucks is the sales. These are by far the laziest mainline Pokemon games ever, without a doubt. And guess what? Scarlet and Violet are on track to be the 2 best-selling Pokemon games ever by a long shot. In the first 72 hours, Scarlet and Violet sold over 10 million copies. Game Freak are literally being rewarded for being lazy, and I hate it. And the video's done. Bye.